Well, I have some fish guard news for you boys.
Okay.
So with my friends here, Di and David, who has now moved to Fishguard because he's heard how amazing it is here. Thank you. Lovely to see you again. In local news, there's been a racial incident. Local Mayor Barry Welsh has been accused of being English on his mother's side, 9 generations removed, and it has in fact been confirmed. It's caused a lot of trouble, as you can imagine. So we have spoken to a local anti-racial group, We Hate the English, who said that Barry, unfortunately, will have to be excluded from the Male Voice Choir and also from the Pobl y Cwm local tourist attraction. Now, I'm sure you'll agree this is a grave matter, because Barry all along has maintained that he is indeed Welsh. In fact, he's called Barry Welsh, but he is a liar. You've turned it off. And he's English.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
It's off, isn't it?
Oh.
Where's
now
the
we
light
look
gone?
like, now we look completely incompetent.
Oh, it's a shame, because it was going great.
As if we
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah,
already.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
shall we get it?
Yeah. There you go.
I think we're on camera here, so we probably should talk about hockey stuff. I think that's the advert.
That is the
know,
point,
that's
isn't
the
it?
point
Yeah.
of
So
this thing.
we'll start talking about some hockey then.
Welcome to Inferno TV
Into the.
with my co-host,
Well done.
Aled and Skippy.
So, are you going to introduce the topic for us, Skip?
Can do. I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk about last weekend to begin with.
Why?
Because we have to, apparently. Let's talk about Dundee away.
Yeah.
Should we do
Well, none of us were there, so
Exactly.
we don't.
Apparently it didn't really happen.
Yeah,
No.
we probably know as much as you guys do from reading about it. So yeah, scoreline obviously not the best.
No.
That's a hot net minder and a team that's doing really well at home. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what more we can say about that really. 7-0, not great.
Well, 7-0 is never the best of results, is it? So, but I mean, again, you know, what do you say about it? I mean,
Not a lot
I
we can
think
say.
I think like you said, netminder situation. Their guy is obviously at the top of his game. We're in an unfortunate situation at the moment with the goaltending, and you know, there's a few things. You know, once it sort of started to go downhill, it sounds like it just kept going and it didn't really stop, to be
Yeah.
honest. So, but you know, there we are. But that's that. I mean, the one thing to come out of it, though, I suppose, talking point from a Devil's point of view, was the Andrew Conboy incident, of which there's been another. So, what do we
So-
think about that?
Yeah, I mean 6 games. Was it the abuse of official? Was that was cited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the
So-
physical
of the
variety,
physical
I
variety,
believe.
so-
Well, I believe there was some verbal content as well.
Well, apparently he went in for a cuddle, was the way that I heard it.
Yeah.
He went in for a cuddle. The linesman wasn't that way inclined. He was a bit upset about it. They
Yeah.
fell over.
And he fell over.
The
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do we feel that you know, it was a harsh thing to get 6 games, or is it the right thing? Because it could have been as many as 20. We understand. So,
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, it's you make contact with a referee or a linesman. It's a ban. You
Yeah.
know, there's no arguing
Yeah.
it. That's the way it is. It was unlucky more than anything else.
yeah.
And I think that's the issue, isn't it? It's unlucky.
I think you know from
You know,
obviously there's been more frustration this week from the Devils fans over it, and certainly from my point of view, in general, personally, I'm backing Conboy. I think he's going to be a really good player for us, and I think it showed particularly in that home game against the Panthers where we really missed him because they had such a physical presence with Salters and Henley. But at the same time, if you're going to get a ban for something worthwhile as well, like smashing Darryl Lloyd up, I think would be one good way.
That would make a lot of people happy.
On the ice, of course.
I think obviously there's a few issues there. The Conboy's got a bit of bad press. People have been talking about it. The officials are well aware of things that have been said about him. You can't go swearing at linesmen, even if you feel that the penalty against you was incorrect.
Yeah.
You've got to be very careful what you do. Let the captain or the coach handle it if he feels that the official needs to be spoken to at the time. From what we understand, Conboy was aggrieved at the penalty that was given against him. There was a bit of shouting, over to the linesman when he came out of the box.
Yeah.
He wanted to speak to the linesman about it. From what we understand, he approached at speed, lost his edge, and unfortunately collected the linesman
Yeah.
in question.
Collected him.
you can get the ban for swearing at the official. You don't need to land
No,
on him.
no.
So unfortunately, in this circumstance,
Yeah.
Mr. Hansen's probably been as fair as he felt he could
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
I think the club maybe feel that it's a little bit harsh because there was no intent.
Yeah.
But if you go and do it, you're asking for trouble, and trouble is what we've got, basically. And hopefully Andrew learns from that, because I agree with you. He is an important player to us. A lot of AHL experience. He is a guy that we need on the ice, and we need him for the games, as you said, like the Panthers game, where we did take a bit of a battering some of the time.
Yeah.
People like Plumpton, they stood up and did their best. But
Yeah, absolutely. But and on the other side is he's going to sell tickets as well, I think, which, and we keep, it's something I bang on a lot about as well, and probably will week after week. But the sport here has got to be looked at in both ways. It's got to be looked at from obviously a hockey point of view and that sort of sense, but there's always that business thought in mind as well. And we've got a guy there who can play the game, who is going to sell a lot of tickets when he's doing it in the right way and picking his moments. And he means a huge amount to the club, more than what he just what he delivers in terms of goals, I think, anyway. So especially a club like Cardiff as well, I think.
Look at what Coventry did last year. They were in some trouble. They went out, they hired a big, entertaining, fun, fighting team.
Yeah.
And they did well with it. They had physical hockey, and they packed their rink out.
Back the rink, yeah.
So he's a good guy. We need.
Yeah.
I do think we need him on the team. Unlucky.
And it was I think just moving on then to the Sunday night, I think he was clearly missed, and you mentioned Plumpton earlier, like fair play to the guy, he's a gamer, and fantastic job taking on Salters. Perhaps Salters may have just got an edge in the fight.
I mean, we have got a
But
clip we can go to at that,
We've got a
haven't
clip
we?
we can go to
So
in that one. Yeah.
we'll run the clip, I guess.
We'll run it.
Yeah.
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 So, but I mean, for fair play to the guy. I think that's a fantastic attitude there from Plumpton, and Salters looks the real deal as well. As a player and a tough guy for the Panthers, and that was great. But I do think when Comboy's in the lineup, it's not just what he does. We seem to have had guys backing each other up more as well. As through those games when he's been on the ice, and I think more people are willing to step up for others and things like that when he's there. So not to labour on the point about Conway, but I think there's a lot more that he brings to the team than just what he does, kind of himself as well, I think. So
I think the mistakes that he's made, unfortunately, the people have picked up on that. Unfortunately, some of our own fans have picked up on that and keep on highlighting it. We need to get past it. The team have dealt with it now. The officials have dealt with it. If G decides at some point that he needs to take it further, then that'll be his decision, and we'll back that. But until that point, it's not us who makes the decision, and I certainly wouldn't be asked. I wouldn't be asking for him to be dismissed. Yeah. Because we do need him, and he is the kind of guy who could become a franchise player for us. He's somebody like Brad who will fill the tent if we can keep him on board. We can keep him focused. Brad took lots of penalties. He took plenty of bans. But we still loved him.
We stood up for him in those bans as well, and once when it was obvious he was in the wrong, we stood up for him because he was our guy.
Exactly.
We haven't seen Convoy play enough yet to have that feeling for him.
No.
When we do, it happens again. End of the season, I think we're going to be a lot different. I think we'll by that point realise he's a good player, realise we need him, and we'll be gutted if he gets banned again.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big physical presence on the ice, and we're certainly missing him when he isn't playing. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
I think Conboy against Salters, that would have been an interesting battle.
Yeah.
Because certainly Henley took plenty of liberties in that game as well. Ben Davis certainly got plenty of attention from Henley, and he's a clever player. He knows how to work his area, and he certainly worked Ben out of his area plenty of times.
Well, he was clever up until, you could see, though, that he was getting towards getting tossed. Though. He was clever up until the butt end, wasn't he? To be honest, because I thought, that guy is a monster, and he did a big job. He played a lot of minutes as well. Nielsen played a lot of minutes there, played him for a lot of minutes, and he really controlled it there and shut it down. And it was almost too easy, the physicality from that night. And he just he could have given the Devils a game, I thought, there with that major. We had the 5 minute, if the power play clicked more. So it was an odd thing to do. Maybe he just got carried away, but he looks like he's going to be a serious presence for those guys, without a doubt. So You know, but onto that game in more detail, I suppose, you know, what do we think about it? You know, was it better after going down 7-0 and seeing what the Panthers did to the Steelers the night before, 7-3 was it, the night before?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't expect to win, and we came pretty close, actually, in the end. So, were we encouraged by that?
The guys played well on Sunday. They really did. I mean, it was a big comeback game from Saturday. A lot of travel. I think I heard the bus broke down on the way back.
Yeah.
So they got back late.
Just to top it
All
off.
sorts of horribleness.
Got in at 8:30 in the morning.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I mean, to play that game against Panthers on Sunday night and not get a 7-0 or 7-3 again, you know, to keep in the game.
Yeah.
Like they did, missing a starting netminder with a backup.
Yeah.
Well, we were in it with plenty of opportunities to win it. In fairness,
We were.
we're not trying to gloss over here that we made plenty of mistakes. We gave them too many good shooting opportunities. We didn't take away the shooting lanes. We weren't in front of their net often enough. We laid the puck in front of the net plenty of times, but we had nobody there to do anything with it.
But where's that gone, though? Because in the pre-season, you know, we had guys crashing the net, we had guys clearing out, you know, in front of the goaltender and everything like that. To me, it seems like all of a sudden we've gone back to this thing which we've seen, you know, for a couple of years, really a few years. We don't get enough guys in front of the net. And is that down to desire? Is that down to is that a tactical thing? You know, was that just because they had the physical presence back there in Henley on the weekend? But it seems like we're not quite busting a gut to get there at the moment. And we saw a great goal from Salters, you know, just right in front of the net, classic goal, screen the goalie, tip it in, you know, and it's great to watch that. And we didn't seem like we were ever going to get that sort of thing.
Oh, so. we didn't appear to be attempting that. Like, to be fair, he's a great big guy. Greg couldn't have seen much at all of that puck coming in.
No.
I was watching him from my seat, which is very close to that position, and he was covering most of the net, in fairness. I looked at the other end a number of times on similar plays that we had going, where we had opportunities. We had guys working the puck in the corners, winning the puck against the boards, fighting for it, hitting the reverse pass, hitting the layoff to the point or towards the blue line, and nobody there to take it.
No.
Partly because Panthers were moving our guys around, and partly because our guys just weren't there.
Yeah.
And you know, those are obviously areas that I'm not claiming to be a hockey expert here, just from an untrained eye.
None of us.
From an untrained eye, it just
Blatantly.
looked like we didn't have guys in areas where we need to be. I know, and people like to shoot from the crowd, you know, a lot. And you can't blame
even when
them.
we're offside.
But you can only shoot when you got.
Offside, behind their own goal.
Yeah, you've got to shoot when you got the puck though.
Yeah.
And half the time we laid the puck off. Those were good scoring opportunities. I think one of them was a Batchy. Batchy went into the corner. He worked in the dirty areas. He won the puck. He laid it off in front. Nobody there.
Nobody there. Yeah.
No, and that isn't it. If we don't improve on that.
Yeah. Well, that kind of thing, it doesn't matter who you've got in goal. There's areas, what we're saying, you know, the goaltending thing is massive. And I think, you know, really we can't really judge this team until the goaltending is there. But, you know, as well as those two guys have done, you know, in difficult circumstances. But there's still some clear things which, you know, surely can be improved on that will, you know, enhance the team regardless of the goaltending situation. And getting guys in there, you know, battling for those pucks in front of the net, that's got to be one of them, isn't it? I think so.
Definitely.
But simple hockey.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, is what Nottingham were doing to us.
It was. Yeah.
They played fairly simple hockey.
So, simple hockey. Moving into next weekend's games, looking at what's coming up. We talked about this earlier on, didn't we? We're saying simple hockey, and maybe that's where the Steelers have fallen down a bit.
Yeah. Let's play really, 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 really complicated hockey that no one understands.
What is it called?
It's a hybrid NHL swarm pattern.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I understand what that is.
I don't.
Yeah. Can you explain it?
Yeah, it's like when you see a cloud of midges and they're all flying around, it's exactly like that.
Ah.
All the defence, they all skate around like a big cloud.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on. So that's how you stop people scoring, because everyone's really confused.
Not just like kids play football where everyone goes to the ball and then they pass it and everyone goes to the...
You're not supposed to notice that.
Okay.
Because Doug has made it fairly clear that the players
are wrong.
Yeah, and apparently he had a meeting with DeCanio, I believe it was, to discuss how you deal with players.
Yeah.
And they have decided that in this instance, the players are definitely wrong.
Yes.
They're not getting the swarm idea at all.
Right.
Apparently they want to adopt the flying V. And
yeah.
Yeah, and they're not.
Well, you can see why. I mean, look at the success that that system has had.
Well, exactly.
You can
I've
see
seen
why.
numerous films where people scored endless goals
Yeah, yeah.
and saved everything like that.
And they, not only did they score goals, but they made the opposition look foolish as well.
They did.
You know, which I think is a big
And
part
that's
of it
what
as
they're
well.
going for there, because apparently they've even tried the thing where they taped Frank Doyle in the net
Yes.
and shot pucks at him continuously,
Yes.
and that also hasn't increased his save percentage.
So is he
actually his save percentage is worth talking about?
Yeah.
Because we were all horrified when he went to Steelers. A little
We
bit.
were.
And then
Yes.
let's look at it. 84.6.
Yeah.
84.6. And if we compare that with, say, Joe, let's compare it with Joe, our backup netminder, 83.1. Hey!
So
Yeah,
he's
so-
1.5% better than our backup netminder at the moment.
At the moment, that's
Yeah.
great. So, yeah.
I mean, it's yes, it's not what they'd hoped, I guess, up in Sheffield. But
Well, I did hear that Doug has put the feelers out to see if Joe's interested,
Yeah,
and they'd really like to get Joe up there, and maybe he could give Frank a bit of coaching.
a bit of coaching. I mean, sorry to
Maybe we should go a bit serious just
apologise
for a
for
minute.
going
Let's do that, yeah.
back towards the original channel. I mean, I think a couple of us have spoken to Scott, who writes for Pro Hockey News. There's a lot for the Steelers pros, because in fairness, I haven't seen the Steelers this year, so
Neither have I.
we thought it might be a good idea to speak to somebody at the Steelers, and
We both independently spoke to him as well.
we
which is
spoke
quite good.
independently, and I think he may have copy and pasted the same notes to each of us.
Which is good, well done.
Which is good. This is clever.
They're probably written by Doug anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But Scott was saying, in fairness to Doyle, he was very, very impressed with him in the pre-season. When the Steelers playing in Europe and everything, and he's been let down, by the defence is the thought there. But as a consequence of that, is the confidence is now pretty low as well.
Yeah.
With him. So probably a good time for us to play. It's going to be difficult for them to suddenly sort of pick it up, and they're goaltending to pick it up, especially if we get Le Costa back this
Exactly,
weekend.
which is touted. And I was saying, the press release today was there's a good chance Lacosta's in for the weekend.
Yeah,
Which-
it looks very likely.
Great news.
Which,
Yeah.
well, it's huge, isn't it? For us, especially if their guy Doyle is, is struggling at the moment, and we can't underestimate the Steelers ever. At the end of the day, regardless of confidence, they've got 4 guys who played NHL there. That's a lot of quality, but
They're
they've
down-
got injuries as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
They're
Lacroix,
down-
the top scorer,
They're down their main scorer, and they're out a D-man as well. I can't pronounce
Langley,
Langinus, whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flandinam.
Like we can poke a bit of fun about it. We can have a bit of a laugh with it, a bit of banter with it. But in all seriousness, Steelers are a good outfit. They got some great players there. If they can get some sort of shape going for this weekend,
Yeah.
and maybe they'll go back to some simple hockey as well. You just don't know. But at the moment, the pattern they're using doesn't appear to be working for them. So maybe they'll just go back to basics as well. Play what the guys are used to. They won't be easy to beat.
No, they won't. But I do think one area, aside from the goaltending, which hopefully is still an issue this weekend at least, is the power play. And I'm hearing it's not great up there. And I think, there's a lot of Steelers fans upset that Rod Sarich isn't back. And you have to say that Sarich and Le Guy on that power play were phenomenal for the last few years. And for us, certainly, there's been a lot of games where, especially at home, where we've played the Steelers and we've been on top, given away a penalty, and even if they're totally out of the game, they've stayed in it in terms of scoring, because of a lot down to those 2 guys, and Le Gui's not getting that same chemistry on the power play, which is
Exactly. Yeah.
which could be an area we benefit from, so
Well, I
Fingers
think
crossed.
there's definitely an opportunity there for us. The same as Clan took advantage of that opportunity on the weekend.
well, it'd be wrong of us not to have a bit of a laugh at and
Really
I really
Yeah.
I really like Finity, and fantastic. That must be amazing for him to have gone
What
back in
a
there.
feeling!
Yeah.
What you wave across to all those people at the start of the game. You got Tony looking down and thinking, we're going to hammer them now. Doug's looking across at Finner thinking, I got your job. Finner's over there thinking, do you know what? This is a great job at Braehead. I'm working with a great guy, Neil Black. He's given me his full support. I've got absolutely fantastic fans who travel all around to watch us. Loads of them. They're always noisy. I've got a great team of guys who really want to work for me. I got this young kid, Kyle Jones, in the net, and he's playing out of his skin at the moment.
Yeah.
But not just him. They've got a team that's working. Toey's gone there. He's getting loads of ice time. He's playing great. They got Esdras is playing great. Not just them. All the guys in the team are working. They obviously all believe. They're all buying into what Finity's doing. They go there and they win. What was that? What could that have been?
yeah.
I'd be surprised if Finity didn't have a lump in his throat when he won that. I know when I heard it, and we announced it at the BBT.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we were all thrilled for him as well.
Yeah,
There was a lot of laughter around our way with that.
There was a lot of laughter, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it was Panthers fans.
Well,
as
it was the one
exactly.
time when everyone was cheering the same thing in the rink, wasn't
They
it?
were delighted.
Exactly, yeah.
But for us going there this weekend, we got to have the same level of belief. Clan have had their struggles as well.
Yeah.
We've had our struggles. We haven't had a starting netminder. We've had some issues. We got to go there this weekend with belief. I'm sure that this week G will be saying to the guys, look at what the Clan did. They'll probably watch that back. G will be speaking to Finner and saying, what went on. How did that come about?
Yeah,
what's a hybrid swarm?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a bit of chat between them. These are guys that talk to each other, and hopefully, we've got Kent and Smith there as well.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the last weekend's results, they're very similar, aren't they? 7-0 to us away, 7-3 to them. We had a similar weekend to the Steelers last weekend.
Yeah.
So it's who bounces back better.
The difference is they've got their starting goalie and
we didn't. Yeah, exactly. So that I think is the difference.
Yeah.
No, that's very true, and that probably simplifies it a bit because you can't rely on one guy. The same as people who keep on saying that Conboy cost us all the matches we lost.
Rubbish.
Well, we were already 3-0 down in Dundee. To be fair, when Conboy was asked to go out and agitate and everything started going wrong, we were already behind. And in a lot of games we've been struggling before the Conboy. What tends to happen is a Conboy is trying to do something to get the game going. Maybe not at the right time, but he's trying to do something. Maybe he's going after the guy that he feels has tried to injure a teammate. And those are things that happen. We have to accept that sometimes
we're not in a corridor. We're not in a corridor.
No.
There's no corridor.
It was a fan that went past.
It was a fan that went past.
They heard Alex
Very
was in the
vocal
building.
fan, like a groupie, really.
Yeah.
Not a corridor.
So.
That was. I think that was
thoughts.
brilliant. Whatever. I'm sure what you were gonna say was going to be the best part of the show. So, we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Well, I think I was going to sing, but let's definitely move on.
Also, Devils squad-wise, obviously, we had a new forward come in last week.
Oh yeah. Difficult to judge, isn't it?
it's-
Long flight straight into the games. I'm sure we'll see more from him this coming weekend.
Don't think he trained with the team.
No.
As such.
Looks very willing.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got the right attitude.
Didn't look out of place.
No.
Off bat, yeah.
Skated around a lot. Was winking at fans. He's obviously a friendly guy.
Yeah.
No, good for him. Good for him. I think he's a guy that's going to do a job for us. That's the way he looks to me.
Exactly.
He reminds me of people that played here before, like that Tulip,
Yeah.
for instance, which
he
I
had
think we
that-
discussed earlier.
He had that little look.
He looks a bit like him. He looks like he could be a little bit demonic out on the ice, which would suit us. Maybe cause a bit of mischief. He looks, he's the build of a couple of snipers that have been in the league in recent seasons who've done really well.
Yeah.
Building similar stats as well. I
See
think looking at
what
it.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I difficult to judge him off that
Yeah.
because didn't see enough of him.
No.
Saw a couple of little chances, and he worked a couple of things in front of the net which looked nice. And I think he will be a guy that will do well for us going forward.
Sounds good.
Liking the look. Right. That's
Yeah, well, I've got a curry on order, so
that's what we wanted to cover off tonight, really.
I mean, got to get on with that, really. So
It's got a curry on order.
Just wanted to mention, hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed the new intro that was on
yeah.
show last
Of
weekend.
course, Devil's new intro.
Particularly when Max turns around to face the camera, which for me is the highlight.
Yeah.
The-
And I know how to put stick on a tape now as well.
Stick on a tape?
Yeah, stick
Not
on a
even
tape.
tape on a stick.
Yeah, I know how to put stick on a tape.
See, you guys have the
I
advantage.
prefer that
You can-
version.
You
I
can
think
both
that's
see the
brilliant.
screen.
I haven't had my
during
curry
the
yet.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's
Give me a
right.
break here. God.
That's what I think you got the idea of how butt ending happens as well from watching that video.
Yeah. What do you do with that?
You just grab it and whack someone with it.
Oh, right, okay.
Apparently that's completely okay as well, from what I understand.
That's all right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
long as no one sees it.
Yeah, as long as no one sees it.
But the thing with the guys
Yeah.
turning to face the camera, there's a couple of great ones in there. You can tell the guys who are really uncomfortable with it. You can tell the guys who are obvious posers, the ones who are like this and then sort of
Yeah.
into the camera.
It's good.
I thought they were great, but Max is my favourite on there. I thought he was,
Yeah.
as always, Max is always awesome.
Standard.
Yeah. I just like to say to Max, Atlishna Max, which is excellent in Russian.
Oh well, that's
Yeah.
lovely from you. I feel inadequate.
Well, we've learned something. We've all learned
We
something.
have learned something.
Yeah,
New word every week from you.
That's
Different
right.
language.
Yeah.
Good.
We also, I believe we've had some additional footage potentially with regard to the fight on the weekend. So if we're lucky and we have got that, we may be showing that just at the end as a nice play out of the to the show. So stay tuned for that. Some extra camera angles, I believe, picked up the fight. So we'll try and get that to you as well.
Ah, right, that fight.
Yeah, that fight.
I see.
From the weekend. Sorry.
Okay.
That fight that happened. You know.
All right. Thanks for tuning in again.
Yeah. Thanks for watching Inferno TV.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Muscle Show.